GLP-1 agonists like Semaglutide, marketed as Ozempic and Wegovy, are revolutionizing diabetes and obesity treatment. Their effectiveness has led to soaring demand, but also to shortages and high prices. Enter compounded semaglutide, custom mixed by pharmacies, but often using unapproved forms and lacking rigorous testing. This has sparked a global debate. Are these alternatives safe or a risky gamble? Patients, doctors, and regulators are caught between access, cost, and safety. The controversy challenges our trust in medicine and the systems meant to protect us. The heart of the issue is safety and trust, not just cost. Brand name drugs undergo years of testing and strict FDA oversight. Compounded versions do not. Without this scrutiny, patients risk getting ineffective or even dangerous medication. Healthcare providers face ethical dilemmas, torn between affordability and safety. If trust in the pharmaceutical system erodes, everyone is affected. Understanding this debate is crucial for making informed health decisions. Semaglutide is a complex, precisely engineered peptide that mimics a natural gut hormone. It helps regulate blood sugar and appetite, making it a cornerstone for diabetes and obesity treatment. Its development required years of research and advanced manufacturing. The drug's multifaceted action, stimulating insulin, reducing glucagon, slowing stomach emptying, delivers powerful results. This holistic approach restores balance, not just treating symptoms but addressing root causes. Semaglutide's arrival marks a milestone in modern medicine, offering new hope to millions. Semaglutide's success rests on two pillars: diabetes control and weight management. It lowers blood sugar and reduces cardiovascular risks for diabetes patients. At higher doses, it's approved for weight loss, curbing appetite, and promoting satiety. Clinical trials show substantial, sustained weight loss and improved health outcomes. This dual impact makes semaglutide a game changer for chronic disease management. It's reshaping how we tackle diabetes, obesity, and related health challenges. Semaglutide's popularity led to global shortages as demand outpaced supply. Patients faced long waits and uncertainty, desperate to continue or start treatment. Compounding pharmacies stepped in, offering alternatives when brand name drugs were unavailable. For many, compounded versions were the only option, not just a cheaper one. This shift fueled the rise of compounded semaglutide and intensified the debate. Scarcity turned a medical breakthrough into a public health dilemma. High prices for brand name semaglutide put it out of reach for many. Compounded versions, often much cheaper, became a lifeline for those without adequate insurance. The promise of affordability drives patients to seek alternatives, despite unknown risks. Online communities share tips on accessing cheaper, compounded drugs, bypassing traditional channels. For many, the risk of untreated illness outweighs concerns about unregulated medication. Cost remains a powerful force behind the compounding trend, demanding attention from the healthcare system. Compounding is the art and science of creating personalized medications for patients, an established, trusted practice in medicine. When drug shortages like semaglutide occur, regulations allow compounding pharmacies to step in, providing a crucial bridge in care. Many patients and doctors saw this as a standard solution, not a risky workaround, transferring decades of trust in compounding to this new context, often overlooking the complexity of replicating a drug like semaglutide. Compounded semaglutide carries significant uncertainty regarding its quality and purity. The primary risk comes from the vast difference between a highly regulated pharmaceutical manufacturing plant and a typical compounding pharmacy lab. Major drug companies follow stringent international standards known as good manufacturing practices, or GMPs. These rules ensure the product is consistent, pure, and stable every time. This rigorous oversight guarantees each dose is identical and safe. Compounding pharmacies are not held to the same GMP standards. This can lead to critical inconsistencies in the final product. The active pharmaceutical ingredient might be sourced from unvetted suppliers. This opens the door to impurities and unknown substances. Without the same level of quality control, there's no guarantee the semaglutide is the correct strength. A patient could receive an underdosed or overdosed product, increasing the risk of severe side effects. This lack of standardization creates unpredictable quality. One batch from a compounding pharmacy might differ significantly from the next. This variability means a patient can never be certain about what they're injecting. The compounded drug might degrade more quickly, losing its potency over time. These issues compromise both the safety and effectiveness of the treatment. Ultimately, the core problem is a lack of transparency and verifiable data. Patients and doctors often make decisions based on trust, assuming the compounded product is equivalent to the approved drug. Without independent testing and public data, there's no way to be sure. This fundamental uncertainty about what's in the vial is the first and most profound risk. It transforms a precise medical treatment into an unknown variable with potentially serious health consequences. Compounded semaglutide often uses different chemical forms, like semaglutide sodium or acetate, rather than the approved base form found in Ozempic and Wegovy. These salt forms haven't been tested in large clinical trials, so their safety and effectiveness are unknown. Without bioequivalent studies, there's no guarantee these compounded versions work the same or are even safe. The risks are real. Patients could face unpredictable results or dangerous side effects. Compounded semaglutide can have unpredictable and dangerous effects. Incorrect dosing may cause severe side effects or leave conditions unmanaged. Unregulated products risk contamination, allergic reactions, or organ damage. This erodes trust in proven treatments, making patients wary of effective medications. The spread of unsafe alternatives threatens public health and undermines confidence in the healthcare system, putting both patients and providers at risk. In the United States, the FDA has issued multiple public warnings about compounded semaglutide, highlighting potential dangers. The FDA emphasizes it does not review compounded drugs for safety or effectiveness. Compounded semaglutide lacks the rigorous evaluation of brand-name drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy. The FDA's primary role is to protect public health, reflecting deep concern over unregulated preparations. The FDA warns about the use of semaglutide salts, which differ from approved medications. These salts have not been tested in clinical trials, making their safety and efficacy unknown. The FDA stresses that unapproved salt forms may not provide the same benefits or safety as the base medication. Reports of adverse events underscore the real-world consequences of using unvetted products. The FDA's warnings are direct responses to emerging public health signals. The agency advises obtaining semaglutide only with a prescription from a licensed provider. The FDA aims to cut through marketing claims of compounding pharmacies, emphasizing safety. While cheaper, compounded products come with significant safety trade-offs. Around the world, health authorities like the FDA, Anvisa, and EMA agree. Compounding semaglutide carries major risks. These agencies warn that compounded versions lack the purity, stability, and quality control of approved medications. Strict standards and advanced manufacturing are required for safety, standards compounding pharmacies can't meet. The global consensus is clear. Only approved, tested semaglutide is proven safe and effective for patients. Compounding is only permitted under strict regulations, usually during a documented drug shortage. Even then, pharmacies must use approved ingredients like the semaglutide base from FDA-registered facilities, not unapproved salts. The rules are meant to ensure safety, not to provide a loophole. Patients and doctors should always verify shortages and question the source of compounded drugs. Compounding is a temporary emergency solution, not a permanent alternative. The controversy over compounded semaglutide puts doctors and pharmacists under immense ethical pressure. Physicians must balance patient needs with the risks of unapproved treatments, while pharmacists are responsible for ensuring quality and safety. Both must be transparent about the differences between FDA-approved and compounded versions and the lack of safety data. Ultimately, their duty is to prioritize patient safety above all else, navigating legal and ethical challenges with caution and integrity. In the debate over compounded semaglutide, patients are active participants with the right to informed consent. They must receive clear, unbiased information about all options, including risks and benefits of both brand name and compounded medications. Consider Maria, who can't afford Wegovy and is tempted by a cheaper compounded alternative. Her doctor must explain the differences and unknowns of compounded products. Only through honest, shared decision-making can patients make truly informed choices. Semaglutide is a breakthrough for type 2 diabetes and obesity, but its success has sparked a global controversy. Compounded versions, often made with unapproved ingredients, pose serious risks. Unverified purity, unpredictable outcomes, and lack of oversight. While access is important, patient safety must come first. The rigorous standards for approved drugs exist to protect us. With semaglutide, the risks of unregulated alternatives are simply too great to ignore. Navigating the complexities of the compounded semaglutide issue requires a clear and committed path forward, one that is built on the twin pillars of education and transparency. Healthcare professionals, including physicians, pharmacists, and nurses, must be at the forefront of this effort. They need continuous education to stay informed about the latest regulatory warnings and the scientific distinctions between approved medications and compounded preparations. Armed with this knowledge, they can guide their patients more effectively, explaining the risks in a clear and understandable way. This proactive education is the first line of defense in preventing patients from unknowingly stepping into a risky situation. Equally important is the empowerment of patients through transparent communication. The healthcare system has a profound ethical obligation to ensure that every patient can provide truly informed consent. This means conversations about treatment must be frank and detailed. Patients have a right to know precisely what they are being prescribed, why a compounded version differs from the brand name drug, and what specific risks are involved. Transparency must also come from compounding pharmacies, which should clearly state the source of their ingredients and the unapproved nature of their products, rather than marketing them as simple, low-cost equivalents. Ultimately, addressing this controversy will require a multi-pronged approach that involves stronger regulatory enforcement and a renewed commitment to ethical practice from all parties. Health authorities must continue to monitor the market, issue clear warnings, and take action against bad actors who mislead the public. At the same time, the pharmaceutical industry and insurers must explore viable solutions to the underlying problems of cost and access that drive patients to these alternatives in the first place. Finding sustainable ways to make approved medications more affordable is a critical piece of the long-term solution to this complex puzzle. The journey with semaglutide is just beginning, and its story highlights both the incredible promise of medical innovation and the challenges that come with it. As we move forward, a shared commitment to safety, evidence, and honesty is paramount. By fostering a culture of education and transparency, we can ensure that patients are able to access effective treatments without compromising their well-being. This will allow us to harness the full potential of groundbreaking drugs like semaglutide to safely and effectively combat the chronic diseases that affect so many lives across the globe.